Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the 80K Woodswalker channel where we focus on everything having to do with outdoor adventuring. Today, I want to share with you my worst backpacking trip. Stick around. As you can see, I've got the pack on. I'm actually doing a bit of a shakedown hike as I prepare for our upcoming adventure on the Taconic Crest Trail. Just doing a couple miles, just make sure the pack feels good, make sure I've packed everything I'm expecting to need, that kind of stuff. Since I'm doing this little shakedown, it seemed like a really good opportunity to answer the call of a challenge. That's right, Melissa from The Unlikely Hiker, go ahead and subscribe to her information's below, has issued a challenge to me to share my hashtag worst backpacking trip. So thank you, Melissa. I'm glad to be part of the challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody else is doing. But today, we'll talk about what I consider my worst trip. Before we get into it, worst backpacking trip is really a tough thing for me to come up with because even though I think every backpacking trip has problems, I don't know if any of them are really that terrible. In this particular situation, my worst backpacking trip actually was a great trip, but it had more of the terrible things. So I think that's why it's on the list. So as most of you know, working on completing my list of 46 high peaks in the Adirondacks, and we're real close. We're within 10 this year. So I think we're going to do it, and I'm pretty excited about that. But last year, we did a number of them as overnights, because let's face it, while I love standing on the summit of a very high peak and getting amazing views, I love backpacking and camping equally. So I figure if I'm going to be out there, I might as well have a really good time with it. Last September 2020, we set out on one of the trips that I've been dreading for probably the entire list of the Adirondack high peaks. That was the Allen Adventure. Allen Mountain, just by itself, if you were to do it as a day hike, is about 20 miles. And I'll be completely honest with you, a 20-mile day would probably kill me, at least right now. Eventually I might get up to that, but that's not where I'm at right now. So we decided to make that a backpacking trip and have a good time with it. So like most trips, put the plan together, packed up our stuff, and we headed out. Now, on paper, the trip looked awesome. Looked like a great time to go out, enjoy each other's company, have some good food, take care of one of the tougher mountains, more remote mountains in the Adirondacks, and just have a good time. Well, it quickly became apparent that this trip was going to be something a little different. You may remember at the beginning of the year, I had put out a video where I talked about the gear that kind of failed me last year, the worst gear that I had. And on my list was my old backpack, my old Osprey Kestrel 48. Well, that's the pack I was using on this trip. Within a couple of miles of starting the hike, the pack actually started rubbing my lower back raw. So that was a really quick indication that the trip was not necessarily going to go as planned. Then, as we're hiking, we got to a section of the trail where I had initially thought that there was going to be a place to camp. Now, there's no real designated spots for camping on the way to Allen Mountain. However, since it's New York State forest land, you can actually camp anywhere as long as you follow the guidelines of being 200 feet from water, 200 feet from the trail, and not on private property. So it was not really an issue. But looking at the map and trying to figure out where to camp based on the map didn't work out. So we ended up not being able to camp in the spot that I had anticipated. Normally, not being able to camp where you thought you were going to be able to, it's not really a big deal. You can actually just keep walking and find a place a little further down the trail. However, the problem here was that John had packed an entirely way too heavy amount of stuff to carry out because, according to my plan, we were only going to have to walk a few miles with the heavy packs. So that was a really big fail on my part for planning and not being able to really execute the way we had thought we were going to. And, because of that, my buddy had to suffer. Not really a good feeling. So we ended up soldiering on, and at about 6.5, 7 miles into the trip, we did find a suitable place to lay our heads for the night, which was awesome because by that point we were all pretty tired of carrying our bags. Again, we packed way too much stuff because we had planned on being at camp closer to the car. Again, fail on my part, but it is what it is. We dropped packs, set up camp, and life was good. As we were setting up camp, we were having a discussion about whether or not we wanted to climb the mountain on that day, or if we wanted to just hang out at camp, feast like kings, and then climb the next day, come back down, pack up camp, and then scoot out to the car. We ended up having camp set up within an hour. We had some lunch, and we're sitting down relaxing and discussing what our plan was going to be. We actually ended up having a 50-50 split, hiking that day or waiting till the next day and hiking in the morning. So what we decided to do was check the Garmin, check the weather, and it looked like it was supposed to rain the following day, starting mid-morning to right around noon. So that kind of sealed the fate. We decided to quickly scarf down a couple more snacks, fill up some water, and make our way up the mountain. The problem with deciding to climb the mountain that afternoon was we had lollygagged long enough at camp, setting things up and just hanging out and relaxing, that it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon before we started our trek up to the summit. That's much later than I would suggest starting. In fact, one of the guys we met coming down was asking, "Oh, so you guys are doing a sunset hike?" And Dan answered, "Apparently," because that's what it ended up being. We were so late. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Adirondacks or Allen Mountain specifically, Allen is a rough climb. It ends up being about 3 miles from the base, where the trail kind of gets to the base of the mountain to the top, and for probably a mile of it, you are on a very exposed slide. It's rock, red slime, mud, wide open, completely exposed. It is a pretty gnarly climb. Not something where you need like climbing gear for or anything like that, ropes, helmets, belaying stuff. You don't need any of that, but it is a pretty steep climb in the Adirondacks. Well, we started up the mountain and ended up probably a mile in, and we needed to filter some more water. We had miscalculated, got thirsty, slugged some water, and it needed to get some more. So what ended up happening was Mark and Dan ended up splitting up and going ahead of us because they were concerned that John and I were going to be too fast and blow by them based on our last leg of the Northville Placid Trail a month earlier. So John and I stayed, we filtered some water, and then we started our trek out. Now normally I say don't split up the group, but because we had 4 people and it was 2 and 2, it's not really that big a deal. There wasn't a lot of risk for that. And we have a general rule where If we get to a junction and we're split up, we wait for the other people in our group. While John and I were making our way up the slide, we ran into a group of hikers who were coming down the mountain, and something pretty bad happened. One of the women that was in the group actually slipped on the mud or the red slime or whatever it was and fell down, hit her head, hit her arm, broke some glasses. It was really a scary situation that kind of added more to the day being a little bit of suck. Thankfully, the woman was all right. Her group and John and I, we stayed, we hung out, we made sure she was okay. I offered to use the InReach if she needed it. We were okay. Everything was fine. She was fine. They were making their way back down the mountain to go to camp, spend the night, and hike out in the morning. So after about 20 minutes or so, after the lady fell, we made sure she was okay. Everything was good. We actually started our trek back up the mountain, again, to try and catch up with Dan and Mark. By this point, John and I had started feeling very, very fatigued. We weren't really sure what was going on, but we didn't feel well. We had no energy. We had to stop every 3 to 5 minutes to take a rest, which is not normal for us, considering all of the other treks that we've been on. We were just having a miserable, miserable time. Now, it's important to point out that we had dropped our heavy packs and took out all the crappy gear for overnight and just had lightweight gear going up the mountain. So we had our water, our filters, first aid kit, TP, and some snacks. Now, if you watched that video, I know for a fact you can tell there is a point in it where John and I seriously considered turning around, walking back down the mountain, and just going to camp. All right, real talk. I hate this mountain. I'm done. I think we're close-ish. That's how bad it was. Now, I have orphaned mountains before. It's not usually a problem. In this particular case, orphaning Alan was kind of a bummer if we were going to do that, because we'd have to climb all the way back down, then turn around and come back and do the trip some other time, which, I'm going to be honest with you, of all the 46 high peaks that I've been on, Alan is one of the 2 that I don't necessarily think I would enjoy doing again, at least at the time. So we decided to just continue taking our time, taking breaks, and getting to the top of that mountain. So we made it to the summit, celebrated a little bit, took some pictures of us at the summit sign, just to kind of commemorate the moment. There is actually a viewpoint. If you go past the summit sign, you get this great expansive view of other high peaks from a completely different angle. Really, really pretty. Awesome views, and I'm really glad that we soldiered on. However, strike number 5 on the Alan trip being my worst backpacking trip was that the sun was setting and we needed to descend on that slide, that crazy, crazy, slick, steep, gnarly slide in the dark. Not great. Not a great situation. Thankfully, we had our headlamps and we had our wits about us. Mark and Dan had a little bit of extra snacks that they could share with John and I, so we got some fuel in our body and we made our way down the mountain. Now, if you remember, I said we had left camp around 3 o'clock in the afternoon to start our climb up. Well, we didn't get back to camp until about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We were starving. And the meal we had planned for dinner that night was venison sloppy joes with some mac and cheese and cave-aged cheddar. It was a smorgasbord. I mean, you know how we do food on this channel. Thankfully, being completely wiped out like that and having a very full belly of delicious food helped us all sleep really, really well that night, which was great because the next day we woke up, packed up camp in a sprinkle, and started our way out. We had to walk 7 miles back to the car, and we knew rain was coming. Did we beat the rain? Can't say we did. In fact, it started raining about 3 miles from the car, and we got soaked. It was an impressive rain. Come down hard. It was cold, a little bit of wind, but it really kind of sapped all of the positive energy out of our spirits. We just put our heads down and tried to make our way to the car without killing each other. Now, if that wasn't enough, I feel kind of like a used car salesman saying, but wait, there's more. We ended up getting to the car, and because we were soaking wet from the rain, we really needed to change before we could get in the car. I mean, we were literally dripping wet. It was mud and water and grossness everywhere, and we didn't want that in the car. So we changed into our warm clothes, our dry clothes, but that involved a little game of dropping trowel in between cars coming down the road. We got beeps, we got hang tens, we got clapping. It was interesting. You see a group of guys trying to not look like wet rats anymore. What else are you gonna do? I think the people who were passing by enjoyed the show a little bit. So yeah, Allen Mountain backpacking trip was the worst one I've ever been on. And you know what? It's all type 2 fun. I'll tell you what, I would love to go hike that again. I would love to go out and do a backpacking trip out in that wilderness area, hike Allen Mountain, and have a good time. Because it's all worth it in the end. What's a little bit of wet and soreness when you have epic views and great friends to share them with, right? So I really want to thank Melissa, the Unlikely Hiker. I really appreciate being part of the hashtag My Worst Backpacking Trip event here on YouTube. And I'm sure many of you have a story of your worst backpacking trip that's worth sharing. So go ahead, leave it in the comments below, or you can put out a video like this if you're a content creator. That'd be awesome. I would be remiss if I did not tag some other content creators in this challenge. So first person I'd love to see a video on their worst backpacking trip would be Lance from the Outland channel. So Lance, let me see what you got. And this might be a shot in the dark, but I would really love to hear what Frozen from Outdoor Adventures has to say for his worst backpacking trip. So I'm gonna link those channels below. Go ahead and check them out. Very good dudes, lots of very cool experiences, and I'd be willing to bet they have some great stories. And that just about does it for me. The shakedown hike went really well. Pack feels good. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. Wait, is that such a thing? Too light? Whatever. It feels really good, and I'm very excited for our TCT trek coming up very, very soon. If you enjoyed the adventure, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like this type of content, hiking videos, gear chat, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, I hope that I've inspired you to get outside and do something awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.